already know the drill. We back again with another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And strap on your seatbelts, because it's all pedal to the metal from here. And without further ado, your amazing host, Drew Billy.
Welcome back to another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys, here with your hosts, Drew Billy, Nate Stice, and Trevor Dinsmore. Boys, a lot of shit to talk about, a lot of reactions. I hope people find this as a safe haven if they are not Chiefs fans. But how are you guys doing tonight?
Doing well. Wish we would have had a different outcome on Sunday night, but all things considered, I'm here and excited to talk football for sure.
Well, I kind of touched on it right before we got bets. The team that I wanted to win didn't win. And now, we get to deal with Chiefs talking about the three-peat for the entire offseason. But at least I'm doing better than my pitching wedge here that I may or may not have broken in half after what occurred on Sunday night. Out of frustration, and yes, alcohol was in play.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you just got to release it. You got to, like I do every night with you, Trevor, on PlayStation. You just got to release the anger, and no one else got hurt. It's okay. It's just a pitch and wedge. But, leading over here, we alluded to it already. Andy Reid will indeed be going for a three-peat in 2024. Going to be long-winded as usual, folks. Whoever wants to take it, our opinions or takeaways from that game, whoever wants to take that first.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs definitely made enough plays continuously to win the right string of games, and they deserve this title. You can't take it away from them. They've proven to be a clutch team time and time again. Mahomes has continued to leap great quarterbacks and players into the GOAT conversation. Obviously isn't quite the GOAT yet, but certainly he's top few. He's up there with Manning and Montana and Brady and, all those guys. Winning matters for sure. I still think there's, some other quarterbacks that might still be better talent-wise that didn't just get the wins that Mahomes has had. But you got to give Andy Reid a lot of credit. Lost a lot of games in crunch time early in his head coaching career with the Eagles. And he has figured out how to win now with the Chiefs. As much as I dislike it, it was cute for a year. They finally got one. They hadn't got one in 50 years, and now they're, they got 4 now, and they got 3 in 5 years, and 2 in a row, maybe 3 in a row. So, it kind of sucks as a Steeler fan thinking that, geez, how are we ever going to get past Mahomes? Let alone the other, Burrow, Jackson, Allen, Herbert. It's how are we going to get back past any of those guys, let alone just Mahomes by himself. So it's definitely concerning for everybody in the NFL, everybody in the AFC too. But yeah, I also want to kind of say I fully believe the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers just had those games right in their hands, and they just made poor decisions, poor execution to kind of let the Chiefs have it. But I'm not trying to take away from the Chiefs. I just think that there were opportunities that each of those teams had, and they didn't take advantage of them. Shanahan's continually proven to be similar to his old man in that it's going to take him a little bit to finally get one. And then maybe he'll rattle off a couple for like his dad did 2 in a row, I think, with Elway. But yeah, he's choked several times. I know he has one, but he's choked several times along his career. So yeah, it's just tough. It's tough, but you got to give them their flowers. Over in Kansas City, they have a great organization. They find ways to win. Their defense was incredible this whole season. The running game carried them a lot of the regular season, and then they got enough passing attack through various receivers and Kelsey turning it on the last few weeks to get it done. So Yeah, those are my takeaways, and hopefully somebody knocks them off. I'm not looking forward to another dynasty, and it's already started. I'm hoping that maybe we can end it here and be done with it. So I don't know. I don't know who's going to do it, but hopefully somebody can crack the code, man, because it's getting boring. I'm tired of it.
I mean, yeah. I guess obviously congratulations are in order for Andy Reid and the Chiefs. And Andy Reid is the only one that I'm happy for at this point. Certainly not happy for Taylor Swift's boyfriend or Kermit the Frog or any of the rest. That's not true. I am happy for Drew Tranquil. I am happy for him and him alone on the Chiefs roster. That is it. But I want to give props to Harrison Butker too, who made all 4 of his 3 kicks in the entire season, set the Super Bowl record for field goals. And I know we discussed that last week, a 55-plus yarder. I didn't think it would happen twice. I didn't think the record would be broken and then broken again about an hour and a half later. So definitely give Kansas City their flowers. Give the special teams flowers for both sides, really, because special teams played a large part in that game. Field position was huge. That was a big reason why we entered the second quarter 0-0 and halftime 10-3. Defenses wear down, the game goes on. We get a little more scoring, a little more excitement. And depending on when you bet on the over-under, you were either elated or pissed. I myself was elated because I bet the under when it was 47.5. So that's the one thing that I got right. I didn't even get the coin toss right, but I got the over-under right. So I will gladly take it. Of course, Travis Kelce, another big game for him, 9 for 93. And then Mecole Hardman catching a big touchdown, catching the redemption arc for him as well. Then I also wanted to give Brock Purdy his flowers. He played pretty well in the biggest game of his career.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that did not go the Niners' way that maybe should have. Obviously, the fumble on their opening drive by McCaffrey. How often do you see McCaffrey fumble the ball, by the way? And when you see yeah, and I even talked to you guys, Nate, and one should be more stretched out than it actually was, and I had a feeling what was going to happen, and it happened. But anyway, give Brock Purdy his flowers. 23 of 38, 255. Took care of the ball, threw a touchdown, and apparently had to cede a throw to Jawan Jennings, who was in line for MVP for the better part of 3 quarters. So give Jawan Jennings some flowers too. I believe the second player to ever touchdown in the Super Bowl. So, and the only other one was Nick Foles back in Super Bowl 51. So a little bit of history there as well. But other than that, Kansas City, they took away the biggest weapon on the not the biggest weapon, the biggest receiving weapon on the 49ers side, and that was George Kittle. He had 2 receptions for 4 yards. And I was all over the tight ends this game. Kelce lived up to his billing. Unfortunately, George Kittle did not. Spagnuolo knows how to take away your best guy, and he knows how to win in situational football. The Chiefs, they just won the big downs late in the game, man, and they're never out of it. Patrick Mahomes trailed by 10 points in every Super Bowl that he's been in. He's won 3 of them.
Yeah.
Another little nugget of information for you. So this one, no different. Yeah, that's all I really have to say on the game itself. And overtime situation, but we can get into that after I'll cede my time here to Drew.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people saying Brock Purdy's mid and, really coming after him. I don't think
he's
so.
He's not Mahomes. He's just not Mahomes.
He's not
He's
Mahomes.
A great starter. He's a great starter. He fits the 49ers system pretty much. Ball and has done better than any other Mr. Irrelevant ever has.
Right.
He's not there yet.
No.
He'll get there, and he showed a lot.
Yeah. And then one takeaway, the Chiefs front four really showed me, holy shit, they can really get to the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You saw it a little bit in the Buffalo game and against the I forget who the hell they played. Jesus Christ, the Ravens, right? Yeah,
Ratbirds,
Ravens, yeah, Ravens, and just all around. I mean, their defense. Spagnuolo, I don't know how the hell he's not candidate for head coach somewhere. I mean, this guy, hell of a defensive mind. Just, and then you have McCaffrey fumbling. You got fucking 10 punts in the game. I mean, the game didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. Like, I thought this was going to be a blockbuster back and forth, heavyweight matchup, but it just, I don't know. It didn't go that way. And it, falls in the hands of Patrick Mahomes, and he delivers, and absolutely lost my fucking mind. And it's all right. My blood pressure I don't even want to know the reading on that. When they won that game, it's whatever. It's just like I was saying to Nate, Trevor, before you got in on here. Did the NFL not help themselves with this whole, there's a script, this is rigged by the Chiefs winning this game? Or do you think this is still called into question here, that there's, okay, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah. I mean, you almost had Kelsey scoring a game winner.
Right.
You had the CBS producer jokingly say that it was going to go into double overtime, and there was 3 seconds left on the clock when Hardman caught the ball. So he teased that.
Right.
Taylor Swift was on the field with everybody's like, oh, she's going to get proposed to by Travis. I mean, there were so many things that were like they buttered it up to possibly happen. And, it happened. And the Chiefs won their second straight. It's a dynasty. They butter that up.
Yeah.
All kinds of things. There were so many storylines around it. The storylines favor the Chiefs winning for sure. But, it's not about that. The 49ers had this game in the bag to me.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you where I think they screwed up the most. There was a few times I think they screwed up. Why'd you ever give the ball back to Patrick Mahomes? Go for it on fourth down twice. Should have went for it both times. I would rather lose with that offense out there than give Patrick the ball back. Or at least give Patrick the ball back saying that you have to go the whole way for a touchdown instead of just a game-tying field goal. Because Butker can make it from 60 yards plus. And he's made eight or 10 in a row from 50 plus. Dude's automatic right now. And I said it on this program a few months ago. I said, Butker's not the best kicker in the league to me, but he's dang close. He's third, fourth, fifth. Second, third, fourth, fifth. He's up there with Tucker and Boz as some of the best, no question. Cincinnati's got a great kicker too in their own right. And obviously Aubrey's was amazing this year for Dallas. But yeah, you just can't give the ball back to Patrick Mahomes. You're in 4-down territory to me at the end of the fourth quarter. And no offense to Moody. I'm glad he came through the 50-yarder. I'm not going to blame on Jake. Not his fault he got called to do his job.
Right.
You're in 4-down territory to me. At the end of the fourth, you should go for it. You get that. You milk the clock. You can milk the clock even more. Then you can kick it with way less time on the clock, or maybe you score a touchdown. And then they had a chance again in overtime to do it again, to go for it on fourth down. Instead, they let Moody kick it again. I just disagree with it twice. And they didn't burn him the first time because it was, right at the end of the game, but they burned him in overtime. So it's like, you can't give Patrick Mahomes these opportunities. You just can't. And Kyle Shanahan should have learned when he was the OC of Atlanta, don't give the GOATs the ball to end the game. Didn't the Patriots 28-3 ring a bell for you, buddy? I mean, come on. You lost both overtime games, to two of the best of all time. Haven't you learned by now? You also lost another Super Bowl as the head coach of the 49ers that you were up 2 scores going into the fourth.
Right.
I mean, how many times do you have to learn? And Harbaugh, same sort of situation to me. You play a certain way the whole way, all season long, and then all of a sudden you're going to tell Lamar Jackson to start passing because you're down 7 points. What are you guys doing? Why are you going away from who you are? What are you doing? And we sat here and we got pissed off at Coach Campbell for not going away from who he was. But I give him the most credit of those three because he stuck to what he did all freaking season long.
Yep.
And he can live with that because he never switched up on who he was and who he is as a coach. And he won't. And good for him. These two other guys, Harbaugh and Kyle Shanahan, both have switched up. And I think that's more frustrating than seeing someone that is aggressive. You need to be aggressive against these players. You need to be aggressive against Patrick Mahomes. Go out there and do it. Like the Chiefs came right after Brock Purdy. They don't care. What do you guys care? Like you got this is a Super Bowl. You went through all this adversity together. You had adversity in the game. You lost your, Mike linebacker, or not your Mike linebacker. You lost your second inside linebacker. Figure it out. You lost your starting safety, and Jair Brown came in and did great. You've been through adversity, but then all of a sudden, you're not telling your guys the overtime rules. You're switching up on who you are. You're giving the ball back. I just disagree with it. I'm not an NFL coach, but I disagree with that sentiment that you stop being aggressive. You got too many weapons not to try to get those first downs. And like I said, would rather have my offense out there and not get it and say, defense, this is what we're paying you for. Get a stop. Get the ball back. Get a stop right now. Game's not over yet. We get a stop. We're going into overtime anyway.
Right.
So that's where I disagree with it the most.
Yeah, no, I found it very striking, the reports coming out after the fact that a lot of Niners players didn't know the overtime rules. And I did read an article. The staff knew, and they developed a game plan for that specific situation, but evidently wasn't communicated throughout the locker room, wasn't installed in the game plan or anything like that. It was just kind of an on-the-fly thing. I will say one thing about Kyle Shanahan's decision-making regarding that overtime period. I was in favor of him taking the ball first. You take the ball first. Yeah, that part I'm okay with.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
First, you go down and score, then you force Mahomes to go down and score as well. Or at the very least, you do what you did, and if they have to kick a long field goal, so be it. But it would have been like a 30-something yarder, like a mid-30 yarder from where they were on the field. I agree with you, Nate. They probably should have gone for that.
Go for it.
And they should have gone for it earlier in the game too. I don't disagree with that. But at the same time, there's a reason that guy's making the decisions and I'm not.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
Right. No, I agree with you guys both.
And then you brought up another thing that went against you brought up another thing that went against the Niners, freaking Dre Greenlaw.
Terrible.
Tore his Achilles, correct? Tore his Achilles just running on the field. And he's probably going to be out for all of next season. Yeah. That you get an extra point blocked. You lose your safety. I mean, it just seemed destined that Kansas City was going to win it some way, somehow. And part of it was through the own undoing of the four at the top. You got to look at that. But at the same time, if Shanahan goes for it, they miss, they go down, Butker kicks a 60-yarder, sets the record again. He's going to get criticized for that. So you want to talk about a results-based league? The NFL is a results-based league. These guys are paid millions of dollars to make very impactful decisions. Whether they get them right depends on what happens after the fact. And it's 2020 on this program. I know that much. But it's tough. It's tough. I just wish more could have gone right for the Niners. I wish they would have extended that lead in the first half a little bit, maybe got out to a 17-point lead rather than just carrying a 7-point lead into the half or even a 14-point lead. They just couldn't do it, and that's more of a credit to Kansas City than anything else. So lost this game, the Chiefs didn't win it. No, the Chiefs won the game.
Yep.
The Chiefs made the plays to win the game on defense and on offense. Because the Niners defense, if you remember, they stifled Kansas City in the first half. Only gave up 3 points, and that was that long field goal.
Right.
Took a 57-yard field goal for the Chiefs to get points on the board in the first half. So do I blame Kyle Shanahan for trusting his defense at the end of the game, in the biggest game of pretty much everybody that was involved's life? I don't. If it were a shootout, I might different. But it's a results-based league, and Kyle Shanahan deserves criticism, and that's just the way it is, and that's the way sports media have gone about it. They've criticized his decision making. I mean, granted, they need something to talk about. We need something to talk about, absolutely. But you reap what you sow, and you got to live with the results. But I will say, Niners to be back. They're going to retain a good chunk of that coaching staff. I don't believe they're losing a lot of players to free agency or retirement. And we know John Lynch and his squad, they draft really well. So I have faith that they'll be back in the Super Bowl hunt again next year.
Okay. No, I agree. Any final points, boys, for the Super Bowl? I know we're going to get in a very hot topic here with the yearly awards for the NFL, but any last statements here?
No.
Next year.
Good. Yeah, looking forward to next year. I agree.
Yeah. No. Just real quick before we touch on the yearly awards here, I do have to, we're a pro Steeler podcast here in a way, boys. We try to not be as biased, but when it comes to Steelers, we just give a shit. Are we happy with the releases that I sent you guys? I was shitting joy yesterday when we got rid of Trubisky, Okafor, and Harbin. We might actually have a goddamn chance because we might have a guy that can actually punt it 35 yards. It's going to be nice.
Well, he averaged 35.9.
Well,
so
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
37.
yeah. So in the league average is like 41 and change. So the fact that there were 2 non-starting punters that had a higher net average tells you all that you need to know. I'm glad they gave you a chance. I don't care if you won the Ray Guy Award in college. I don't care if you can hold. I'm tired of the holding excuse. Find someone to hold the damn ball. Get the damn field. Hold the stinking ball. Goodbye.
Okay. Trubisky, good move, Nate?
Great move.
Okay.
We might see him in a couple weeks playing in the UFL.
Wow.
He stinks.
Mm-hmm.
He got that 40. He got $47 million in the NFL. He needs to go to the UFL. He might be the MVP. It might save his career, but he doesn't. I don't think he cares about that. I have nothing against Mitch. He just isn't very good. He's just not very good. It's just plain and simple. Nothing against his character. Nothing against him. I know he was a former captain. He never gets in trouble. Good family guy. Whatever. But it's a performance-based league. You're the highest paid backup in the league, and you stink.
Yep.
Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All 3 very welcome moves. If you couldn't tell by my Instagram story yesterday, a happy see ya dinks to all 3 of you.
Yeah. Right.
I have nothing else to say. Good move by the Steelers. We're probably going to get Tannehill now. We're just going to have to live with that. We'll have probably a competition between Kenny and Tannehill. This definitely means we're addressing offensive line in the draft.
Yep.
Definitely means that.
Thank God.
We need to. We absolutely need to. And yeah, we'll hold Chris Boswell's balls because apparently Presley did it better than anyone else, and now it's going to be someone else.
Thank God.
Yeah. There's one guy, though, Trevor, you and me share this hate for. One guy I am pissed that his name wasn't on, Mason Cole. It better be soon.
He might be coming. Or he might get some competition and somebody that can actually snap the ball above somebody's ankles.
Or James Daniels. Terrible.
Yeah, haven't had a good center in a couple
Daniels,
years now.
I'm concerned about than Mason Cole. If shit's going wrong at center, it doesn't set a good tone for the rest of the offensive line. So Mason Cole is more of a concern for me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. All right. Trevor, I told you my actual opinion on PlayStation because I didn't want to verbally say it on the show, but
Yes,
we'll get down to that one word that stung me real bad. But most
we'll version rather than unfiltered version because we don't want to, get banned.
Right. But most valuable player award went to Lamar Jackson. I don't think any of us disagree with that at all. I think that was a fair. Just shocked that Josh Allen was. I mean, he was fifth. I thought he'd be a little higher. Someday, I hope he wins the goddamn thing. I mean, the guy he does everything. I know Lamar does, but shit.
Yeah, it's a win league. If you win, you're going to get it. Josh had to pull him from the abyss to get him into the playoffs. And he did. He got the 2 seed, but they had their mind made up after about week 12 or 13 that Lamar was going to get it. It would have taken a catastrophic collapse for him to not get it. Dak had a great year, especially coming off a year where he threw a ton of interceptions. He ran a well-oiled offense all season long, passed all over the place. So I'm with him being in the top few. McCaffrey, of course, touchdown machine. I do think Josh Allen should have been above Purdy for sure, and I do think he probably could have. You could have argued him above Dak or right on par with Dak, but yeah, I don't know. Lamar deserved it. He puts up numbers that are just bizarre. You never see it ever. And he was more efficient than he's ever. He finally got some weapons, and he looked different. He looked better.
Yep.
He didn't look great in the most important game of the year, but I don't think that's technically all his fault. I think they put him in a bad spot. I think that the coaches screwed him around. But yeah, no objections to Lamar winning an MVP. As much as I disliked it, he's a Raven. I don't dislike Lamar Jackson. I think he's a great player. He's changing the positions for sure.
No qualms for me either. Had the highest passing total of his career. Was the most efficient, like you said, Nate, that he's ever been. And he's still can be a whirling dervish when he absolutely needs to. In the AFC Championship and was not. But, that's an aside. As far as Allen not getting, more of a nod, amazingly, he did get a first-place vote from somebody, which is the only reason that Lamar Jackson didn't win his second unanimous MVP. But he turned the ball over a lot, and a lot of the Bills' victories were a result of their improved running game and improved offensive line play rather than Josh Allen. He's still top 3 in the league.
Yeah.
I'm not discounting that, but was not top 3 in the league this year. Won games when they needed to, made it to the playoffs when they needed to, but wasn't the superstar that we all expect him to be, and the superstar that landed him on the Madden cover.
Right. Did not get hit with the curse, though.
Did not get hit with the curse. I think that's becoming less and less of a thing.
Okay.
It was looking like he was going to curse the way he
and Brady a couple years ago. We saw Brady on it a while back. To me, that's less and less of a thing.
Right. Let's see here. Next one here, Offensive Player of the Year. It was a no goddamn brainer. If he didn't get the MVP, he was going to get Offensive Player of the Year. Christian McCaffrey all day. Jesus, we talked about we haven't seen a player have minus for projections on the betting apps for 2 touchdowns per game. I mean, that's just fucking wild to me. Very deserving. I don't think we have any issues with that.
No, this dude's a machine. I'll fully admit I never thought that this dude would hold up like this in the pros. He played in the Pac-12. I never thought that he could play every snap like he is. I knew he was dynamic. I figured we'd see him more in the slot than we do today, although he does go out there from time to time. but he is an absolute menace when he's running like that. He is unbelievable.
No issues. The biggest Swiss Army knife in the game. Yeah. Stays as healthy as you can given the circumstances. I mean, I know he got dinged up here and there throughout the season, missed a couple plays here and there. Played a crap ton in the Super Bowl too.
Yeah, he was
played a crap ton. I think he only missed like maybe 4 or 5 snaps. I remember Mitchell getting a couple carries.
Yep. He played his behind off.
That was all we heard from 25. It was mostly 23 playing. But no, like you said, Nate, the fact that he gets used this much and he stays healthy and, he's still physical. No brainer. No brainer. Plus, what did he score? 21 touchdowns in the regular season? Come on.
Yeah.
Right.
God almighty.
I just need everybody to brace themselves for this next one, though.
I know what it is. Okay, go ahead.
Myles Garrett named 2023 NFL Defensive Player of the Year over one of the most freakish athletes I've ever seen step on the gridiron. I'm going to just let you guys voice your opinion there because I'm going to go very far with this one.
Yeah, I'll start by being more civil. Congratulations to Myles Garrett.
All right.
He's a great player. I am well past that moment that he had with Mason Rudolph. I say it consistently to everybody I know. I'm not exactly a fan of Myles Garrett. I'm more neutral, but
Right.
I know that play that he had with Mason Rudolph was very uncharacteristic. We have to move past that.
Yes.
He's never gotten in trouble again. He is a quiet guy. He's a good guy. No, he's not really a monkey business kind of person. Just had a bad moment. Unfortunately, it was really bad. But yeah, I mean, Myles Garrett, he slipped at the end of the year. He had a great start to the year. He had a lot of great statistics and all that. One that I think is getting overlooked sometimes by Steeler fans, I'll fully admit it, is how many double teams he saw versus how many double teams that TJ Watt saw. How many Garrett saw is far more significant than what TJ saw. But TJ had more, he finished more plays, unfortunately, than Garrett did. It's tough because TJ, I think, got snubbed once before with Aaron Donald. But it's tough. But TJ, I think, is taking it the right way. He's going to continue to work. I'm kind of upset the way Micah Parsons handled it too. He said that TJ, pressure.
Yeah.
I was stunned by that. I'm like, Micah Parsons, I mean, you're one of the best defensive players in the league, and honestly has a chance to be one of the best of all time. But I don't know what you're missing, man. I don't understand. Certainly, it helps that he's got some great pieces with him on the line. I'm not going to deny that Cameron Hayward's an absolute dog. He's probably a Hall of Famer. I think he is a Hall of Famer. And then you got Highsmith on the other side, who is one of the quietest professionals in the game. Doesn't say boo, but he just does his thing. And, I think that aids TJ sometimes. So I will say that. But, yeah, I personally think they got it wrong. I think it's obvious without TJ, it's a completely different defense. Without Garrett, there's still, to me, enough playmakers around that they probably get it done in a lot of regards. But TJ is a complete difference maker to me. Garrett is certainly a difference maker himself. But I don't know. I personally think they got it wrong, although I do acknowledge that Garrett had a great season. It's hard to go against him, too, at the same time.
Right.
Not much to say that hasn't been said about the argument for TJ Watt over Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett didn't have a sack since, Thanksgiving. Pretty much spent all of December being double teamed and didn't get a. So I guess there's something to be said for that. Like you said, Nate, his double team rate and his pass rush win rate is what got him over the hump. Game wrecker. Not saying he's not a game wrecker. I fear him every time that the Steelers have to play him and, we have to run in his direction and he's blowing up plays for -3 yards. Yeah, not a good time. I more want to address what Micah Parsons said. And Drew got the unfiltered version the other night. A somewhat filtered version. Micah Parsons called TJ Watt the 5th best player on defense in the NFL. 5th. Putting himself, Myles Garrett, and a couple others ahead of him. I mean, I knew Micah Parsons wasn't very smart. I looked up his GPA before the show. Wasn't very good at Penn State, but he's good at the football. He's good at doing the physical things. Good for him. Good for him. Because obviously he does the impact that TJ Watt has on the game. He cited the whole double teams thing. He cited the fact that, like you said, Myles Garrett gets double teamed much more of a game wrecker. I don't understand what he doesn't see. Right. I don't understand what he doesn't see. Because you got TJ Watt. He's coming off the edge. He's getting chipped. He's getting low blocked, all of it. And he's still getting home. Still getting home every time. He doesn't get double teamed. The video of a reel that I watched proceeded to show him getting double teamed against the Titans on 5 different occasions within the same series. And then there's this famous shot of him being held back by about 5 Titans, and he's like, "Oh, what do you want me to do?"
Right.
They didn't call a holding penalty on that. Like I said, Drew got the unfiltered version. I tried to keep it very, very civil. Here's the himself above TJ Watt. Micah Parsons is only successful when the rest of the Dallas defense is successful, right? And his offense gets them a lead so they can rush the passer the whole time. As we well established, Dallas does well when the opposing team has to pass the ball.
Yep.
They did not do well in the run game. They didn't do well against the Packers and a few other teams back down the road. That's how they're successful against the Dallas defense. They ran the ball. Some might call it a one-dimensional defense. I definitely call it a one-dimensional defense. Micah Parsons is a product of the rest of his defense. TJ Watt is the product that is the Steelers' defense.
Yeah.
There's your difference, Micah.
That's a great point.
Yeah. No, I agree. Just my take here from regards to, I'm not going to go off the handle like I did with Trevor, but if we're really going to look at the whole overall picture, if TJ's not on the goddamn field, the Steelers don't win games. He's 1-13 or whatever the hell they are. And
1-11, 1-12, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Every play he's held, I know Raider fans are going to come in here and say shit too. Crosby gets held every game. So, I mean, in my opinion, if we're really going to do the voting correctly here, it should have been TJ, Max Crosby, and then Myles or Micah, whoever the hell you want to throw in there. I don't know why he's so unappreciated, and he's the face of the goddamn league. So I'm just not understanding too why he's not getting the calls. We see in all types of sports, basketball, in this sport, football, soccer, whatever the hell it might be, these guys get calls. I guess it would come down to every goddamn play they would have to call a penalty. Is that why we're not calling him? Because he's getting it almost every goddamn play. Yep. Those 2 guys are getting held. And I understand that happens in the facet of the game. But
they officiate TJ Watt. They officiate TJ Watt like they officiated this past Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Unless it was egregious or unless it was blatantly obvious right in front of the official, they're usually not going to call it, which is why TJ has to win so much. And spoiler, he usually does.
Right. I don't know. The guy's just, I don't think it's ever given the respect. His brother, JJ, hell of an athlete, got a lot of respect. TJ's right on the heels of his greatness or close to it. And I don't know. It just didn't sit right with me. 3 goddamn Browns getting awards this season. That just, I don't know. It just kind of drove me nuts. We'll get down there. The coach gets coach of the year. They get the defensive player of the year, and they get comeback player of the year. And what, did they get assistant coach? Actually 4. So I just whatever. I've never. It's stupid.
I think one final thing to bring up. I don't know how Micah, can't understand that there are two guys in the history of the league that have had, 3 19-plus sack seasons.
Right.
And their last names are Watt and Watt.
Right.
Hello. Proof is pudding, buddy. I know that you went to a school that had a creamery and not a pudding factory, but come on, buddy.
Right.
Like, about it. Jeez Louise.
Right. I just his comments. I wasn't even going to address his comments. But
yeah, and he doesn't even need to say it. Like, dude, we know you're great too, Micah Parsons. Like, you're different. Like, you can play inside, outside. You can cover. You can rush the passer. You can play well in the run game at points. There's so many ways you can go down inside as a defensive tackle, and they have trouble, staying with you. Just play your game. Play your like. I think that he should have been third for sure. I think it's TJ, Garrett, Parsons, Crosby, Bland. That's just me. Crosby did really well this year, but he was another one. Got double teamed a lot. Taken out of the game. I think Garrett and Watt freed up so much for their teams, and I don't know. Those two were the two to me.
Yeah, Parsons coming after TJ. I don't see TJ talking shit. Really, I don't know if he's kind of about his business.
He doesn't say anything to me.
No.
Like, never seen him say anything about any of those guys.
He's
respectful and seems to think all of them are great.
Right.
And confident in himself and
doesn't
feel the need to dig at anybody. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very out of pocket.
And I don't know if it's just to get clout because we're going in the off season, but you're coming after a guy that didn't even give a fuck about what deal. He just wanted the deal done, and he's at practice while his agent signed the contract for him. I don't know. Whatever. We'll move on because I'm just going to get more pissed off about it. CJ Stroud went Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's a no-brainer as well. The guy's just he's the man. Puka at points though, Nate. I want to ask you too this too. Where do you think it went over to CJ's side more than Puka's? Would you say week 8, 9 there?
No.
Or all season long?
Week 2 or 3.
Okay.
Puka was, Puka would have had to keep putting up the same stats week after week to do it. CJ Stroud maybe had the best rookie season of all time. Yeah. People are saying that, and I don't disagree. He took a team that won 10 games in 3 years to a division title, a first-round victory, and damn near another victory in the playoffs. They were right with him at halftime. Not his fault. His defense stunk up the joint and gave up a zillion points. He doesn't play both sides of the ball last time I checked. But yeah, this dude, his passing numbers are crazy. Like, Cam Newton had a really good rookie season too. RG3 did. Those guys had really, really good rookie seasons. Andrew Luck had a great one too. But Stroud was better than all of them, man.
Yes.
In other seasons, Puka Nacua and Laporta, Gibbs, and Robinson are all maybe winning it. Those guys all played great. Puka set all kinds of records, but Stroud. He's not the team, but he's close to being the team for the Texans. He is the motor. He gets it all going. I know they squeaked out one lucky win without him, but then they got exposed the second game they didn't play when he had the concussion. They got obliterated, and I'm like, yeah, that was due. This is different. He can mix up the run game. He's good enough running the ball himself. He can hit anybody. He doesn't throw interceptions at all. I'm like, dude, who doesn't throw interceptions as a rookie? This dude had 5 interceptions.
First pass of the preseason, he threw a pick. Remember that? His first pass as a professional, he threw a pick. He didn't throw a whole lot after that.
Remember, Jamar Chase dropped 2 passes in the preseason, and everybody wrote him off too. And now he's a top 3 receiver, and he could be one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT, by the time he's done. So, who gives a poo what they do in the preseason? Who gives a poo? I don't care. Doesn't mean diddly crap to maybe the top 49 players. There's maybe 4 spots that people are fighting for. that are not guaranteed. And whoever doesn't agree with that, you're crazy. You have to really completely stink up the joint entirely to not get your spot at some of those positions again. So, yeah, no. I mean, CJ Stroud's him to me. He's him. And we might see a Super Bowl in Houston in his career. I wouldn't be shocked. I just hope that poverty franchise can keep something around the guy. You know, they've won in spurts before. Schaub has been good. Andre Johnson's been good. Arian Foster was good there. J.J. Watt was defensive MVP, heck, almost regular MVP the one year when he had all kinds of touchdowns on offense. Right. But this is a team that they've been down bad at points too. So I hope that CJ really turned the tide. They invest in him, and they can continue to compete. Because I'll tell you what, the AFC South is not going to be easy for a while. It's going to be tough. Colts are good. You got a good coach. Jaguars have talent. You know, and the Titans, I know that they're not there yet, but in a couple years, with some of the capital they have, they can build around Will Levis a little bit, fix the defense, get a couple more playmakers. They're going to be right there too. They're not far away. Right. So, yeah, but CJ, stud, just a stud.
Oh my God, they should call him CJ Stud instead of CJ Stroud. It pains me to see an Ohio State quarterback having success in the NFL, but I got to give the guy his props. I've touched on it on this program many times. He has the attitude on and off the field that you want in an NFL quarterback, and he has the talent to back up everything he says too. So no brainer. Absolutely. We kind of figured it was a foregone conclusion. I mean, it probably like week 15, or maybe even earlier than that. The NFL's quarterbacking in the NFL is in good hands. People were worried after, we lost Rivers, we lost Manning, Brady, Roethlisberger, all these great quarterbacks that all came through at one time. CJ Stroud has restored my faith that quarterbacking in the NFL, it's still in good hands. And we're still going to see greatness on the field. We're going to be able to appreciate greatness even as we go further into the NFL here. So, yeah.
I just
no problems with that award.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. I know that here's the problem that I have with the quarterback position right now. We have so many guys that are so good, but then there's once you get out of that list, the drop off is so significant that it makes football terrible sometimes.
I understand.
Like,
yeah,
some of the guys who got lids out there this year at quarterback, they should have been home playing Madden with you two. Like they stink out there.
You know. Well, here's the thing too, Nate, and I want to mention this. There were a lot of quarterback injuries this past season. Chief among them, Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow.
Yep.
Among several others throughout the season.
Yep.
So that's probably why we saw the drop off this year. And yes, if you go from the elites to the really good guys, and then, like you said, steep drop off. I get that. But there was a reason for it in this particular season. Hopefully with all the rule changes, and hopefully we're going to move from turf to grass, so we have a lot less, knees popping and things of that nature. Justin Herbert, another one that was hurt for a while. So there was a reason for the down quarterback play across the board this year. I'll just say that much. I think it will be back. I think it will be back next year with a lot of the coaching influxes that are going to happen as well. I think that's gonna help the NFL a lot.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But it was last year when I really started to notice it. Geno Smith was a top 10 fantasy. Like, Geno Smith's good. Should he be a starter? Yeah. Probably. But like, the fact that he was creeping into the top 10 last year of quarterbacks in the league is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, a few years ago, ever. He wasn't even getting a lid a few years ago. Like, he was inactive sometimes. Like, he's a good player, and he's proven his worth for 2 years in a row. But, I mean, I don't think he's top 10. I think he's maybe top 20 on his best, but more likely top 25, for sure. But what I was getting to was this class and the 2024 and 2025 draft classes of quarterbacks are both supposed to be very good. And I'm going to tell you straight up, I think NFL needs that bad. They need it really bad because some of the guys starting and backing these guys up are bad.
Yeah.
We have one of the bad ones. I promise. I promise we have one. So I'm hopeful that Williams, May, Rattler, Bo Nix,
Daniels,
Pennick, Daniels, etc., do well.
McCarthy.
No, sorry, he ain't it. No.
I had to bring him up. Nate. I know how you feel about him.
He might be the most overrated prospect at the quarterback position to me since Josh Rosen. He is he's poor.
Yeah, he does. He screams that. I'm in agreement.
A throw. He's a better running Kenny. That's what he is.
Yeah.
If you watch them, they can hit one of the three. Like if they have the same pass, they'll hit it 1 of 3 times. But the time they hit it onto one, they're like, "Holy smokes!" It's like, sorry, but you got to do it about 70% of the time in those conditions, 60 to 70%, or you shouldn't be getting that opportunity. And that's JJ McCarthy to me. So, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, the NFL needs it bad. Need it really bad. Great to see Stroud in there doing his thing. I'm not giving up on Bryce Young either.
No,
because he's got the potential. Just hope that they can build something around the kid because he's got it. He's an insanely accurate passer. He's got a good arm. He's mobile enough. He's very smart. He loves football.
Yes.
Give him an opportunity. Yeah. I hope they can do it for him. It was not his fault. Don't write this kid off. Hopefully people.
Yeah. And I hope, Nate, too, that CJ Stroud changes the way you evaluate quarterbacks at least a little bit. Because if you remember, he did not do very well in the aptitude test leading up to the draft. And people were like, oh, this guy's not smart. This guy's not going to do well. He's not going to know the playbook. Yep. Put him on the field. How does he do on the field? How did he do on the field at Ohio State? He damn near single-handedly beat Georgia.
He played well enough to win.
Yeah, he played well enough to win, absolutely. And then what did he do for the Texans, who we thought were going to get maybe 6 wins? I think I might have picked them to have 4 or 5. They won double-digit games and made the playoffs.
Right. Yep, and won a game in the playoffs.
Put them on the field. See what happens.
Yep. And, hey, they do it to these guys all the time. I'll give you a prime example. Lamar Jackson, he scored lower than C.J. Stroud. 2-time MVP.
Yes, he did. Yep.
Best run
almost
quarterback.
2-time unanimous MVP if it weren't for a Josh Allen vote. Yes.
Right. And here's another one. Greg McElroy. Remember him from Alabama? Perfect score. Where's he at? Calling football games on ESPN. Why? Because he was polished to a point where he couldn't be polished anymore. Yeah. He had nothing to learn. He had nowhere else to be. He had no upward mobility in talent. He had no upward mobility in learning. He maxed out. Fine. That's fine. But what I'm saying is, who cares if they test poor on this thing? They can freaking learn. You got to watch the tape. You got to watch the damn tape. And Zach Wilson tested great. You obviously didn't see the damn tape. Dude out there losing to Coastal Carolina. Getting his butt on a Thursday. Sorry. I know Sunbelt football is better than it's been. He's losing to Coastal Carolina. Who?
Holy shit.
I mean, come on.
They've won a couple bowl games this decade.
I know, and they're better than they've been. I'm saying, and I gave them their flowers. The Sunbelt's better. They've had good players. They likely went to Coastal Carolina. Very good player. But come on.
Right.
No. If you watch that game and you had a brain cell in your head, you're like, no.
This is it.
No. I watched that game and went, no.
Not the guy. No.
And I did it with Kenny too. I'm not just trying to toot my own horn. I did it with Kenny. I saw Kenny with my own 2 eyes in the stadium, 51-6 against Penn State. And I said, nope, I don't care what you do after this. Nope, you don't lose blowouts like this. Spin out of the pocket, rocket power style, doing somersaults and aerials and stuff. You don't throw it to guys' feet, throw interceptions. No.
Wow.
You either have it or you don't.
I gotcha.
Watch the film. I'm tired of that. Stupid.
Yeah, I'll bet you we see a lot less of that, Nate. They're going to coach it out of him. They're going to have to.
What do you mean?
With Kenny.
A lot less spinning out of the pocket. They're gonna have to teach him to step up in the pocket.
Yes.
Because that's the type of style that Arthur Smith, he runs. Poised pocket passers and running the ball.
Never teach him to hand it off 75 times.
No, I know. Warren and Najee are going to get 30 carries apiece per game. I know.
No.
And Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
And, maybe Le'Veon Bell if he decides to, make a comeback. He says he's in better shape than ever. I don't know what that means, but
he's met with Steeler representatives apparently.
Yes. Third string he wants.
I mean, I looked at our roster and I went, who at third and fourth string? I don't know who it is.
Right.
Is it still McFarland? Or
yeah,
nope.
They cut him, I think. Or got released one of the two.
Finally. Notice as soon as Matt Canada was gone, he was gone.
Yep.
It's true.
He was one
that
of
is true.
Canada's guys. But thrown in here too, it's not that hard to see the success the Texans have when you have on the other side of the ball defensive rookie of the year as well, Will Anderson Jr. Trevor, I told you I don't watch a lot of Texans game, but I know the video game is not compared to real life. But I played with a guy that had Will Anderson on his team, Nate. I said, holy shit. I didn't really have this guy on my radar, and I know this is a fucking computer video game. He's a dog.
Oh, yeah.
And Joey Porter snuck in there with the one first place vote, which I enjoy. He had a stellar season as well. Jalen Carter as well. But Will Anderson is just an absolute animal off the edge there. I mean, God damn it.
Has some of the best footwork that I've seen from a defensive lineman in a while.
Yeah.
Footwork and hands.
Jesus.
It's very good.
And they're huge, man. His fucking hands are huge.
Yeah, it helps. It helps. It helps when you got more of a surface area to swat a guy out of your way.
Right. But no disagree.
And that's what we'll do sometimes.
Yeah. One thing I want to say, Jalen Carter played like defensive rookie of the year until the Eagles started to stink. And I'm not saying the reason that the Eagles started losing was because Jalen. There was plenty of reasons the Eagles started losing. One of them was you let Matt Patricia call plays. I mean, sorry, but goodness gracious, he doesn't know what side of the ball. He doesn't know what side of the ball he coaches.
Yeah,
but
offensive coordinator for the Patriots last year, I think.
Yeah. I mean, come on. He's at a fall off from grace. No, now he's not even. And Bill Belichick can't save him this year, so who knows where he'll wash up to. So,
right.
Not sure, but yeah, no. Will Anderson deserved it. He played great down the stretch, and the Texans are in good hands, man.
Yes, they are.
Each side, you got a captain on each side of the ball. Two captains on your team that they're gonna be there for a while. Hopefully, they can keep them.
Yeah. No, Trevor, any points from that or?
Nope. No. Again, this is one where I have no issues with. I have issues with the Browns ones, and honestly, that's really about it. I don't know if you have Coach of the Year up there yet.
Comeback player next.
Oh, comeback player. Oh, okay. Yeah, a little bit of a debate there. And well, honestly, that more lies in what does the award mean, the ambiguity of that, rather than the what happened on the field. Because if you go by what happened on the field, pretty obvious, right?
Yes.
Pretty obvious. Joe Flacco, comeback player of the year, had more touchdowns than Kenny Pickett. In like 3 games, he had more touchdowns than Kenny Pickett had all season. Yeah, stupid. I know, very stupid. But if you go by that, clear cut, done deal, Joe Flacco, no problem. If you go by the unprecedented event of a guy dying on the field and then coming back to play football, the impact that has on the Bills, on the NFL at large, might be a whole different debate that we're talking about here. And I know Hamlin was betting favorite for most of the year. I believe he entered the year at like minus 2,000 to win the thing. I certainly didn't pick anyone else to win it. I know we brought up the likes of Baker Mayfield. We brought up the likes of Joe Flacco. We brought up I can't even remember who else.
Tua.
Yeah,
Stafford.
Tua.
Yep.
It's Tua, Stafford. Thank you. We brought up those guys for sure. But in my mind, there was no one else that was going to win it other than Damar Hamlin. So when Joe Flacco won it, I'm like, okay, this is what this award means. It means you come back and you dominate on the field after either being away for a little while or just sucking. And in Joe's case, it was a little bit of both. He was away for a while. He did okay with the Jets last season, but obviously, you know, you're the quarterback of the Jets. You can only go so high. But no, if you go by what happened on the field, they got it right.
Okay. Just to throw my two cents in, Nate, real quick. So for viewers out there, I don't know how you don't know what we're talking about here, but if I got to give a little background. So Hamlin, he received 8 more first place votes, but just didn't get much support outside of that, boys.
Correct.
He only played 17 defensive snaps in the season. Despite his remarkable return from literally dying from cardiac arrest on the goddamn field, doesn't get it. I think, and shout out to Pat McAfee, because I don't want to say shit that sounds similar to another show without giving their flowers. They should have did this year a special award, some way to honor what the hell happened to him, because I just think you're kind of discrediting. I don't want to get too far with it, but you're kind of discrediting the service that he does for your league. He dies, and then he gets snubbed from. I just think there needs to be an award that, like a crucial, like an injury comeback award or something different from this, because this does not look good. I just got to throw that out there. You had a guy die.
Yeah, I've heard this thrown around too, Drew. Just name the award after him.
I mean, something. I just
the Damar Hamlin Comeback Player of the Year award.
You got.
I mean, that's a hell of a way to honor. That's a hell of a way to honor the worst thing that could possibly ever happen to someone on a football field, and to come back from it.
Right.
I mean, like you said, the snap count. He played a little bit of special teams too, but didn't play a whole lot. I get that.
Right.
But I don't know. I thought they should have done something for him. I thought they should have given him the award. Period. I said it at the start of the season. I'll stick by it. The fact that he stepped on a football field, to me, that just solidified. I don't care if he just played one snap. He stepped back on a football field after dying on it. I think that's enough. Right. But obviously the voters thought otherwise. And I'm okay with that, because now I know what the award means.
Right. You can be sitting on your couch eating Cheetos, get a call back, come play, win a couple games.
Yep.
And you might win this a fucking award. That's what I see. From a branding standpoint, let me ask you this. If I was a young kid, I'm looking to do football, and you see that someone dies in the game, and there's no, like, yes, he did get to meet the president. He got to do all that shit. Yes. But really, the league, what the fuck did they do for him? Did they do anything? Like, I mean, was there a settlement or?
No, they've given him ample media coverage.
Okay.
Become a face of the league.
Okay.
I mean, and good, very good.
Right.
I'm on the side that you can't play 17 defensive snaps and win anything.
I agree with you on that too.
Sorry.
That's fine. I can live with it.
Yeah. You're a good guy, great guy. You're good to the kids. You're good to your community. You didn't come from much, trying to give back. The people in Buffalo love you. People around the country and around the world love you now. I'm very glad, because Damar Hamlin was in the NFL. So much, I mean, a significant amount of people knew who he was, but now everybody does. And I'm sorry they took that event because it's a shame because the dude's a great dude and deserved more recognition for doing before this, raising millions of dollars, thousands and millions of dollars for charity and kids. And now he's got one of the, largest funded charities in all of the NFL of any player. So that's a great thing. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to see a description of the award because if stats matter, then it's not him. But if the premise of what you're coming back from matters, then it is him. But to me, I think they're both not the right guy. I think Baker Mayfield's the guy. Joe didn't play enough games. Joe had the best defense in the league. Joe had a top X amount of running game. I know he put up stats.
Right.
I understand that. But you played half the games. Right. And Baker took a team to the playoffs that they said might be the worst team in the league. He battled all the adversity last year. People thought he was going to be out of the league potentially. People thought he could be a backup. People weren't sure what was going to happen to him. And you got the team to the second round of the playoffs. They won a division. He's going to get $40+ million a year.
Right.
I don't know what else you need, but I'll admit it. All of those are great storylines to me. Stafford, also a good storyline. We didn't mention him yet. Good storyline there. Led them to the playoffs. Almost had to retire from his neck injury. People forget.
Right.
He had a great season, put up a lot of great numbers. So he's a good story. Tua, dude looked like he was going to die out there too. Not that I'm joking about death. He looked horrible out there, like with one of those couple of those hits.
Yes.
He came back and he looked like the MVP for the first month and a half of the season. He was throwing all over the place. The offense was unbelievable. They still were a top few offense in the league. I think they were top 3, top 2. 2 is a great story too. So all of them great stories. I think the way that the media creamed Baker though was crazy. Yes. I mean, all of us said it. All of us said it.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Baker Mayfield. I'm not.
No, I'm not either.
But you got to admit, this dude just rose to the occasion.
Yes, he
rode the storm. We thought, they're slipping now. The Bucs finally. And then all of a sudden they win some games, and then they win a playoff game, and they almost win another playoff game. And it's like, geez, man, like you got to acknowledge that Baker saved his career. He's about to get a huge deal, and he's probably going to be a $150 to $200 million quarterback in his career, if not more. So I don't know. I think it's Baker.
Okay.
I think it's Baker. But
I don't disagree with you. I think there just should have been more clarification, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's weird. We never had ground like that.
No.
That's the toughest part. But I'm with you. It would have been good for me or good for the league possibly if DeMar Hamlin wins Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Even though Cameron won it, I could see that too.
I'm not discrediting anybody, but bro, this dude almost died.
Yes.
And 2 months, 3 months later, he's out in the community doing stuff again. Yes. Rehab, coming back. I mean, come on. What else do you need? So that's where I think the mistake could possibly happen.
Right. And I kind of go back to, and I don't want to stay on this topic too long because we got 2 or 3 more here, but I just think back to Shazier, not even close to this kind of situation. Didn't die, was fucking paralyzed. Okay, let's not minimize that.
Yeah.
I just didn't think. I just think the league can just do a little better. Just I don't know how. I understand the media coverage. Yeah, you had him walk out for the draft and all this shit. But I'll tell you right now, Nate, in Shazier's case, if the Steelers didn't help him out with the contract, and help him get that truck, he was fucked. I'm not saying he had millions of dollars. He had millions of dollars saved up as well, but his career, who the hell knows what he could have done?
Yeah.
I mean, luckily, he's able to walk, but I don't know. I just think they could do a better job. That's all.
Yeah. I think the league needs to be a little bit better in that regard. I don't know all the stipulations, but
right.
In these cases that people have gotten paralyzed, there, Shazier, obviously he's not quite paralyzed. He's not incredibly mobile to any extent though. And Hamlin, and then there was the guy from the Bills 10 or 15 years ago that got paralyzed as special teams. That was terrible too. And there's plenty of others. What I'd like to see covered more by media or by the NFL themselves, saying this is what we have in place for our people that, and their families that have serious injuries on the field, CTE, yada, yada, yada. Why not say what it is? What does it hurt? Right. I know it's public information anyway. Like, we could technically look this up and figure it out, but
right.
Why are you not marketing that, saying truly, I know that we've not done well in the past. The concussion thing we ignored for bazillion years.
Far too long.
We're trying to be better. This is what we have in place. This is the additions we've made. Like, I don't know why you don't come out and say that. Like, it's very strange to me. I think it's something insensitive that leagues don't. Hey, like, we appreciate all that you do for the game, all you've done, all you'll continue to do. Like, this is how we treat you. And I understand they have a pension, but, like, dude, in these extreme events,
yes,
that's different. That's completely different. And I don't know what it is. I haven't seen it written and covered enough, in my opinion. And I think that changed that. So that's a good point, DB.
Yeah. I mean, Mike Webster.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy's life completely got fucked up.
Junior Seau. It's horrible.
Junior Seau. I mean, I don't know. I don't mean to make this. Yeah, I don't mean to make this like a fucking political thing with the NFL.
No.
Shit, but it just drives me nuts a little bit that the guy dies and there's just, hey, welcome to the fucking awards. You didn't get shit this year. It's whatever. All right, moving on. Coach of the year, Stefanski wins, boys. I don't disagree. I do not agree with this. I understand. Yes, he did great. Yes, you got defensive player of the year. Yes, then you get comeback player of the year. Then you got assistant, like I said prior. D'Amico Ryans, I feel, is number one. Campbell's fucking 2. They were 3-13. What, last season or the season before?
2 seasons ago.
You got the 2 franchises. No offense to these fan bases. The Texans and Lions, historically over the last 20 years, have sucked. Just terrible. And
Big time.
And I mean, the Browns have sucked too, but you have been to the playoffs in what, the last 3 years or so. The Browns have been. So I don't know. I do not agree with this. D'Amico Ryan should have won this award, or Dan Campbell. But I'm leaning more to D'Amico. What do you boys think?
I know why Stefanski won it. He dealt with a crap ton of injuries to key positions. At one point, had 4 different starting quarterbacks in the month of October alone.
Right.
Not to mention losing Nick Chubb very early in the season. Unfortunately, it was in that Steelers game, I think in like week 2 or 3, somewhere in there. So I can see why he won it. And he led his team to the playoffs, and he led his team to double-digit wins in a season where no one thought they could do it.
Right.
I understand it. I'm on the Dan Campbell train. And I know I've been on the Lions the whole season. I'm going to stay on the Lions even still right now.
Yep.
Dan Campbell led the Lions to their first playoff victory and then another playoff victory for the first time since 1991.
Right.
After 3-13 season 2 seasons ago and a 1-6 or 1-7 start, whatever it was last season. And then you pull a rabbit out of your hat to win 12 games and then win 2 playoff games.
Yeah.
Not to mention you have the entire city of Detroit behind you. You have the entire locker room behind you. He's got everything going for him right now. That either him or, like you said, Drew, D'Amico Ryans, the Texans season was very impressive as well. As I alluded to earlier, they were expected to have maybe 5-6 wins. They won double-digit games as well, got to the playoffs, and won that division too. Correct. Let's not forget, they were division champs. When most people were, including myself, were picking the Jaguars. So, you got 2 guys that could have beat Stefanski. It was close. It's kind of a 1A, 1B, possibly 1C situation. You could really interchange all 3 of them. But, again, making the most of what you didn't have, I can see why they gave it to Stefanski. As much as I hate to, again, sympathize with the Browns personnel, but I can see why he won it. I don't agree with it, but I can see why he won it.
Right. Yeah. Great points.
Yes. Very good.
Stefanski is the only coach in the history of the NFL to start 4 quarterbacks in a season and make the playoffs. He's also the only coach in NFL history to start 5 quarterbacks. He started 5. He started 4 in 1 month. He started 5 in the season. If you think about it, I know it was week 18. They didn't start Flacco, and they started. Yep. I forget even who they started. Maybe Jeff Driscoll or something. I can't remember exactly who it was. But
real quick, let's run down the list of them. It was Watson, Flacco, DTR. Who else?
Walker, and I think Driscoll.
Driscoll. Okay.
I think it was Driscoll. It was a journeyman backup. I can't remember it. So you had 5 starters. You made the playoffs in the AFC North, which was the first division since the 20s to have 4 winning teams. You know, all the teams had winning records. All of them were 9-8 or above. So to make it in the playoffs, you made it as the 5 seed. You had better records than some of the division winners. You know, great season. You know, you lost your starting running back, who might be the best running back in the world, and Nick Chubb. You know, arguably up there with all the best. A lot to overcome there for sure. So yeah, he certainly deserves it for sure. D'Amico Ryans, though, like DB pointed out, dude turned his team around like that. You know, and you know, San Francisco was lucky to have him. You know, they didn't really miss much of a beat, but certainly they missed a little bit this year without him. Great coach. Hopefully, you know, has that team in a good place for a while. Campbell, though, started his career 0-10 as a head coach. Last year, he started very poor, like 1-7, and they went, you know, 9-8 or 8-9. I think they went 9-8 and didn't make the playoffs by technically to the Seahawks or whatever. But like, he was building something, and he certainly deserved it as well. And then Shanahan and Harbaugh, you know, to me, like, great because their teams won and stuff, and they're the 1 seeds. But I they did what they were supposed to do. Like, the Ravens had a great team there. The 49ers had a great team. They were the 1 seed. They lived up. To me, I think the one name we're forgetting is Shane Steichen. Let's not forget where the Colts were last year.
That too, yeah.
They defined stink sandwich. They were horrendous. I mean, we had Jeff Natterday out, who won his first game, beginner's luck, and then he just stunk it up. I mean, come on. This is one of the worst hires in the history of the NFL at head coach. Right on par with Lou Holtz, who I love to bring up because he was absolutely horrendous as a head football coach in the NFL. He was bad. And Bob McAdoo was a bad one, and Joe Judge was a bad one. But Jeff Natterday might be the worst. I mean, he was terrible. And
better or worse than Bobby Petrino?
Yeah, Bobby Petrino was very bad too. Thank you. But
better or worse than him, Nate?
I mean, I think Jeff Natterday is the worst head coach.
You think he's the worst? Okay.
In the modern era.
Okay.
He never even coached in the league. And then you go, head coach.
No. Yeah.
It's not like
was coaching a high school team at the time he got hired.
He was on ESPN.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I don't care if it's your drinking buddy or not.
Right.
Who cares?
Right.
I mean, stupid.
Yeah.
So you had him. You had Jonathan Taylor not playing. You had Zach Moss trade for he gets hurt. You have nobody that can catch the ball besides Pittman. I mean, and then this guy comes in and goes, we're changing it. We're changing this thing right freaking now. And then they go, okay, we'll draft Richardson. And then Richardson barely plays. And Minshew leads them almost to the playoffs. They're 1 game away from making the playoffs. They drafted.
Yep.
They got their offensive line patched up. And their defense was better. That team was terrible last year. One of the worst teams in the league.
Very bad. So
Shane Steichen deserves some credit. And here's another thing. Here's another measuring stick. What did the freaking Philadelphia Eagles do without him? Lose 7 of 8 at the year and squeak into the playoffs where they didn't even belong. So that's
where they proceeded to get blown out by Tampa Bay. Yes.
Right. I'm not saying Shane Steichen should be coach of the year because you can't just not make the playoffs and probably be coach of the year, right?
Right.
Correct. But you gotta have weirdly, you have to have like a quicker turnaround than that, even though it was impressive.
Yeah.
Or you have to do something that hasn't been done in a long time for a franchise, a la Dan Campbell.
All the Ryans too. So I just think Shane Steichen should be getting a little bit more respect. And I'm going to say this too. I know it's crazy because they're down right now, but Jonathan Gannon, as goofy of a human being as he seems to be, fire in your guts, drove here, who rode the bus, whatever. I don't give a crap, Jonathan Gannon. The dude has done okay with a pretty piss poor roster. They got some guys that look good, and they could be, if they stick, they could be good in a few years. And yeah, Philly had some good coordinators. They did not replace them this year, and hopefully they do a better job going next year because those two are pretty damn good.
Right.
Arizona got some work to do in the draft, but if they do it right, get the right depth at the right places, I think they could have 6 or 7 wins next season.
Could be a lot better for sure.
Yeah.
Moving on to one of the most emotional awards I feel given out by the NFL. Just a feel good award. Walter Payton, Man of the Year, went to Cameron Hayward for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We all know him very well, but his speech hit me in a way. I got emotional, and I know some people will tell you guys out there that I'm an emotional person, but the speech with his mom and his dad's death and how really just came around. The Hayward House down there in Pittsburgh, he does a lot for the kids, and I don't think anybody has any disagreements with that. I think he should have won it numerous of times, but we'll take one. We'll take one.
Yeah. Anybody they pick is fine with me. It's the most important, award in football. Means you're good on the field, you're off the field. There's been some really, really great players and people that have won that award over the years, but Cameron Hayward can join that. It's something he'll always remember for the rest of his life. So, kudos to him for sure.
Yeah. Trevor,
anything? Just wanted to shed some quick light on one of his latest initiatives, Craig's Closet, in which he provides like suits and, work attire to try and help young kids who are either impoverished or in the foster care system or otherwise less fortunate, help them with job interviews and, stuff along those lines as well. So I'm probably going to make a donation myself to the Cameron Hayward Foundation in light of that. And like you said, Drew, his speech just it got me goosebumps in all the right ways, seeing him carry on his father's legacy that was unfortunately short-lived. I'm thankful that he's going to be back on the field, but I might be even more thankful that he's going to be back staying in Pittsburgh for the community at large. So
right. And I'll tell you this, we've had our characters over the years, but I really think this organization, the Steelers, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a mega fan, they just draft good people that just do a lot. And I think that's a part of the drafting process is how much are they going to do? And I think that's actually a part of being a Steeler. You got to get involved in the community or the Rudies aren't going to.
Characters huge. Character's been huge with this organization since the 1970s and probably even before that.
Right. And we have to give a shout out to his wife, Allie, too, because that's all she does for a job is running this foundation and all the projects that they do. So now shout out to them guys, making the world a better place. And when it's sometimes dark. One more thing here, one more word I feel like, and then I'm going to let you boys. I went way over my time. Assistant coach of the year, Jim Schwartz. I don't even know how the hell you grade this, but he's defense coordinator, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. I will give it to them. They had a stellar defense, but I don't know how the hell I'm not against it. I'm just, it's there.
That makes sense to me. Either you got to give it to him or Spagnuolo. with the defenses that those guys put together. I can see why, again, that they gave it to Cleveland. They were a little bit disadvantaged, again, with the injury situations. And they have one of the best, if not the best, complete units in the NFL. There's not a level of that defense that's weak, per se.
Right.
So they're good against the run. They're good against the pass. They're good at forcing turnovers, getting sacks, what have you. Whatever statistic or element of the game you want to throw at them on defense, they're good at it. So I can see why they gave the nod to Mr. Schwartz there. I guess it was a Browns year for awards. So
Yeah.
they won 4 of them, I guess.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah, great. He had if not the best, one of the best defense in the NFL that held up so well for them. Were huge, getting the ball. They have guys at all 3 levels that are amazing. Well, Spagnuolo didn't get very many votes, but he's so consistent. I believe he's the first coordinator to win 4 Super Bowls, either offensive or defensive or special teams.
And
so
again, a situation where he lived up to the billing, so he's not going to get an award. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Mike McDonald had a really great year for Baltimore. Well, now he's a head coach as he should be. Ben Johnson, though, too. I mean, seriously, he's done on offense with the Lions. Oh my gosh! Like he could have been a head coach. He withdrew his name. He's waiting for the right opportunity, right dollars. Good for him. He'll earn that right in the near future. But I mean, that offense is disgusting. They got unbelievable talent on the outside. They got a 1-2 punch in Montgomery and Gibbs that's insane, and they got Goff. First overall pick in a draft, playing just like he should. And he deserves some credit too. But yeah, no gripe against Coach Schwartz. He's been a head coach in the past. He's done well. I believe he took the Lions to the playoffs a couple of times when he was head coach there. So yeah, no gripe against Coach Schwartz. But yeah, McDonald, Ben Johnson, Spagnuolo, all guys who I also think deserved it for sure. Certainly wasn't Matt Canada. So.
Or Terrell, for that matter.
Holy shit! Yeah, God. Okay, all right. I peeked in my mouth a little bit. Shit.
Okay.
All right, you guys take over. I just want to say it was a hell of NFL season. We'll be touching on various things here, but really it's going to be these boys here leading the charge if you're to this point in the episode with the baseball, basketball. Trevor throwing in some hockey possibly too from points.
I don't want to talk about hockey right now.
Okay. Oh no, I mean down the road, maybe. All right. I apologize. I don't know what the hell's going on with the Sabres season.
The Buffalo faithful is more proud of its Bills than it is its Sabres. I can tell you that much.
I apologize. Okay. All right. You take over.
Actually, since you brought up hockey, I'm gonna do a live look in here of the Sabres game to see if they actually did something tonight. I'll give you that update. I'll give you my reaction, and then I'm moving on. So give me 1 second here. All right. Well, I pull up my ESPN app. Here we go. Oh shit! Sabres won 7-0 tonight. There you go. I talk shit on them, and look what they do. I just got to talk more shit. That's apparently what needs to happen. Now I'll probably have to watch that game back just because I missed it. But anyway, maybe I will talk about hockey. I don't know. We'll get there. But we'll take over a little bit here with the some NBA news and some what's more likely. I'll do the what's more likely first because some of it relates to the NFL. And then I'll touch on some of the trades that went down in the NBA. This team was very active. I'll just say that much. And they're going to keep being active, apparently. I'll get into that in a second. So what's more likely as brought to you by this guy? What happened to Nader?
It's okay. I will get him back.
He might have clicked something. Oh, boy. Nate, come back.
Yeah, we need him for
technical difficulties, folks. Excuse us.
Hold on here. Okay, we said. He's back. Sorry, Nate. I don't know what the hell happened.
I had a technical difficulty.
Okay, all right. I apologize.
All right. Well, what's more likely as brought to you by the guy with the hat. What's more likely, the Chiefs three-peat or a team that did not make the playoffs this past year will make their conference championship game? Immediately comes to mind Bengals. They missed the playoffs.
Yep.
And the
Bengals.
Chargers under new management. Coaching, I should say, not new management.
Yeah. I mean, Vikings possibly if they the problem is you just don't know what the Vikings are. I'm not if they run with Kirk Cousins.
Oh, you don't know.
Right. So yeah. Oh man. Tough.
I don't want him to fucking three-peat because the feeling I had on Monday.
I never said I wanted it.
Here's
that I wanted it.
Here's the thing to me. I seriously think that the Chiefs could get the 1 seed. They win one playoff game. They're back in the, they're back. I think that it's more likely that they repeat than a team that didn't make the playoffs makes the conference championship game. There's a lot of really good teams that I think are only going to get better.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really tough for some of these teams to stay relevant too, because they play the first place schedules and your divisional games are always a toss up. So it's tough, but I don't know, man. The Chiefs are tough. I'm going to go with them.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the other with the field, Trevor. I got to see this off season. I understand Andy's coming back. We'll see about that. We'll see about Kelsey if he, him and Taylor make a, baby this summer. Maybe that switches the plans. She ends her tour. We'll see there's a lot of shit that could happen. So I'm going with the field. There's a lot that could transpire here because I'll tell you right now, we didn't talk about his reaction on the sideline. He needs to get his shit in check, Kelsey.
Oh, that was more funny for the memes that came out of it than anything else. I was kind of surprised when I saw that at first, but the internet's just taken it over and turned it into a meme, which I really adore. I especially like the one where he's like, Tony Stark built this in a cave with scraps. That one. That one's pretty good. Big Marvel fan, this guy. But anyway, I will go with the latter. I say either the Bengals or the Chargers make the AFC Championship game rather than the Chiefs three-peating. That's what I want to happen, and that's what I think is going to happen. No team is ever three-peated, and I don't think we're starting next year.
No, and Herbert's
plain and simple
next year.
Yeah,
well.
The only. Can you just imagine what that does for your legacy if you three-peat in the NFL?
Oh, he's GOAT.
Bro, you're probably GOAT. Like he might be.
People are saying he is already.
Yeah, people are saying like GOAT or definitively 2 already, but it's like I don't know. There's still a few others in the conversation, but like
to me, I understand the playoff record against the GOAT, the current GOAT. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But the pace he's on, and like you said, Nate, you do something that unprecedented. You three-peat, you win 4 Super Bowls in what would it be, 6 years?
Mm-hmm.
No, you're crowned. If that happens, Mahomes, I'll admit it. I'll admit it as soon as the clock hits zeros. Mahomes is go. I'll say that.
He's definitively 2 to me.
I don't want to go too far, take over your thing here, Trevor, but I go back with the old time. I don't know. Favre, Manning. I know Bradshaw's not even in there, but it's just very hard for me to fucking go ahead and project this guy to fucking do. It's a total different style of game. There's factors.
It's not a conversation. If he three-peats, it's not a conversation, my opinion. He's on a record pace. He's got 4 Super Bowls in his 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at it like that too. Yeah, it's like holy shit.
Yeah, it's utterly insane. But I said, I think it's going to be. I think the Bengals will make a nice little comeback. Super Bowl's down in Louisiana next year. Bear that in mind. It's in NOLA. It's in New Orleans. So remember where Burrow and Chase played? Yeah, just throw that in the script, NFL, please. Anyway, more likely to be the Bears' starting quarterback at the start of the season, Justin Fields or whoever they draft first overall?
I'm going to go Justin Fields. I think it's going to be him. I think he deserves one more year. There was a great ending to last year. And I'll say this: the Chicago Bears don't really move off quarterbacks very quickly, if you haven't noticed. I think they're going to him. I think they might very well just draft a lineman with the first pick or Marvin Harrison Jr., but very possibly could also trade it. And that's what I think they personally should do. Their GM has been making some good moves.
Yeah.
He seems to be making some good moves right now anyway. They were better. They weren't a playoff team, but they were there till the last week or two, I believe, of the season, even with a bad start to the season. A very terrible middle part of the year for sure. But, yeah. I'm going to go with Fields. I don't think he's going anywhere, but we'll see. Hopefully, the Bears can get a 4,000-yard passer for the first time ever because they never have had one, and that's literally part of the reason that they don't win anything because they don't have someone that can pass the ball. Even the year they made their last Super Bowl with Rex Grossman, he was living up to his name. He was pretty gross out there, man, and not in a good way.
Pretty sure they had a bottom 5 offense that season in terms of scoring.
They did, but they had number 1 special teams and number 1 defense, so it didn't matter.
Correct. Yep. Oh, and Devin Hester in the Hall of Fame, rightfully so.
Yep, finally.
Yep.
I'll say Fields. If they draft, it's never bad to have a fucking quarterback sit behind somebody for a year just to get the feel of it.
No,
but I do agree with Nate. Why not go for a weapon? Marvin Harris. I could see them doing that. I think draft night's going to be fucking out of hand for this show. I just got to say that. But I say Fields one more year.
Yeah, DB, we'll have to see if we can do the screen share thing with the draft, if we can do that legally.
I'm going to look into it.
We'll have to do that. I think that'll be a nice addition to that particular edition of the program. But no, I'm with you guys. I think it'll be Justin Fields. It better be Justin Fields because he had a very nice ending to the end of last season. I believe the Bears, they have ended up with 7 wins, I believe, 7-10, 8-9, something in that neighborhood. And this Eberflus-Fields duo is making some progress. I don't know if they want to stunt that by drafting a quarterback. I would do what you're thinking, Nate. Get some more draft capital, get some more weapons, get some more depth. Although I believe it was the Bears GM came out and said they're going to need like a record-breaking type of a deal for them to trade that first overall pick. Why he would come out and say that? Maybe he's playing some reverse psychology to try and get someone to do that. I don't know. I don't know how that guy rolls. So we'll see what happens. But no, it'll be it better be Justin Fields. I'll just say that much. This will be an interesting question because we mentioned one of these guys' names earlier. More likely to have a successful NFL career, Michael Penix or J.J. McCarthy?
Penix. Didn't have to think.
Penix, just off of me comparing McCarthy to, I don't know. I'll say Penix.
Yeah, JJ screams bust. JJ screams Zach Wilson.
Yep.
Yeah. Kind of looks like him a little bit too, the way he walks.
He does. A little bit. Well, in fairness, he hasn't tripped running onto the field yet. So,
has he been hitting up the mothers before the games? That's the question. Then we will be
not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge.
All right, we don't have any schematics
not yet.
Analysis. All right.
He has the boyish charm and good looks for that, though. So we'll see.
No, but seriously, the thing about McCarthy, I think he has a chance to be successable, but he'll have to be like an Alex Smith type player. The game manager. Yeah. Not Brock Purdy. Sorry, he's not a game manager. He has to go to the right team, and Penix does too. They're both system guys to me. Here's the thing, Penix, if you can get him a good offensive line, and play him similarly to Tua. I'm not just saying that because he's left-handed. I've said it on his program before. He can hit people like few others. If you can give him time, he's going to be really good. That's the thing, though. Washington gave up 11 damn sacks going into the national championship game, and then they gave up like 3 or 4 in that game. And we saw him get his butt whooped. And then guess what? He didn't play in the Senior Bowl. So I'm not high on either one of these guys. They take perfect fits to me. But I think Penix's arm is just so much better than McCarthy's. However, if you place McCarthy on the right team and he can get his 30 to 50 rushing yards a game, hand the ball off, and make the chunk and dunk throws, a few throws across the middle, and pick a spot somewhere else, he's going to have a chance. But I don't see it with him. I don't think he's accurate enough. I think he can throw it 1,000,000 miles an hour, but he can't put the ball where it needs to go all the time. He's too inaccurate for me.
No, I'm with you. And I'm with you both on Penix. He has a better skill set, but he needs to go somewhere with a fantastic offensive line, because we saw how he got rattled in that national championship game and ended up faltering for it. I'll say Penix just because of his skill set. But anyway, since 2016, there have only been 14 non-Power 5 players drafted in the first round, and that's excluding Notre Dame. I'm considering Notre Dame Power 5 for purposes of this question. What's more likely? A non-Power 5 player gets drafted in the first round, or the Steelers trade up from 20?
I think they're trading up.
Yeah, I think that is a better. I think that has a better chance too, because the offensive line, they better get up there, because there are some dogs in this draft, and they need to go get some to fill the voids and the holes that they have. And Khan's been very aggressive, and I hope he stays that way. They don't trade up often. They did this is a new regime. Khan is more aggressive. He knows what he wants. He knows who he needs to get. So I'm going to say that. Nobody's coming to mind right off the top of my head of a non-Power 5 player in the first round. A lot of guys that came to my head are Alabama, Ohio State, Iowa has a bunch of them, Oregon State, Michigan, Notre Dame, Penn State. I mean, so I can't think of anybody. I know there's good players in non-Power 5. Tulane's got a great quarterback who's coming out, who's going to be a late rounder. I think he's underrated. And there's some other guys too. But nobody's jumping off the page that I can remember off the top of my head. So yeah, I'll go Steelers moving up.
I just want to see like last year's draft. That's what I want.
Yeah, you want to see him move up.
I want him to see him move up and get a goddamn dog for the line. Get fucking time for whoever the hell's throwing the pigskin for you.
Yes. I think there was one player that I saw on draft boards somewhere around the 25 spot, was from Toledo. Quinyon Mitchell, a cornerback from Toledo. So if someone needs a cornerback in the mid to late first round, I could see that. That would probably be the only guy that I could really think of that would, from a non-Power 5 school, go in the first round. But no, again, I'm with you both. If the Steelers move up from 20, I would not be upset. Has to be the right situation though. The draft has to be going a certain way for that to happen. You don't just do it just to do it, because this is a stacked draft and you're going to have plenty of guys available that fit your needs at number 20. So don't force anything, but I could see the con man pulling something off.
I hope.
And then that's all I had for NFL side of what's more likely. Then I just wanted to cover a few of the trades that went down. Nothing too blockbustery, but a lot of activity to be certain, and a lot of activity from this team. And that's the first trade I want to bring up here. Them acquiring Buddy Hield. And I believe what did they give up? 3 second rounders for this? Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, 3 second rounders. They finally traded Furkan Korkmaz, and they traded Morris Sr. So quite the haul for a team in desperate need of a 3-point shooter, because I believe we are bottom 5 in 3-point attempts and percentage. So not a good formula for winning games when you have to rely on your defense all the time, especially when your best weapon is for 1 to 2 months now. So I personally love this trade, and I know Buddy Hield, he's not a guy that's going to play every single minute, but in my opinion, I think he's very efficient, and I think he can make a big difference on, like I said, a team that desperately needs a perimeter shooter. Just my thoughts on that. I think we gave up a little bit too much, but with some of the other moves that we made, we ended up getting a couple second rounders back, and we had to move some cash. We had to get Daniel House out of there as well, and throw some cash. I believe it was at the I forget who this trade was with, but we got Daniel House out of town, a second rounder, and threw some cash at somebody just to stay below the cap. So kind of an interesting set of moves there, and stuff that was on par for Daryl Morey, and something that we desperately needed, especially at this stage of the game. We got to stay competitive in a very competitive East right now. I think we're 9 games back. Far and away, Boston's winning. I hate to see it. I hate to see it. But that's just the way it is. And we got to stay out of that play-in spot. If we end up in one of those play-in spots, you have one bad game, Dunsky, goodbye. Well, 2 bad games, I guess. It's double elimination, but still. Then a couple others, pretty key ones. The New York Knicks, who are actually having a better season than the Sixers at this point, add Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks. Again, strengthening that lineup, which is pretty pertinent too, I believe. Is Anunoby still hurt, or is he back?
I think he's been out.
He's been out? Yeah. So they acquired him. He was working out pretty well for them in the games that he played, and now he's out. You need someone to supplement Jalen Brunson's production as well as Julius Randle's. So smart move by the Knicks there. An interesting one from the Thunder. They acquired Gordon Hayward. They acquired a veteran presence to supplement a lot of the young talent there. And they gave up Trey Mann, Vasilije Micic. I believe I pronounced that correctly. When I read that name, I was like, who? And who? I don't know. Yeah. Davis Bertans, as well as some draft compensation that they gave to the Hornets. Hornets, what are they doing, Nate? Are they still in rebuild conversations, or do they know what they're doing?
They don't know what they're doing. They got Grant Williams, too. They have no stinking clue. They're just hanging out, dude.
Fair enough. That's the vibe that I got. It's like they want to be good. They're acquiring talent to be good, but now you're making this move. You're trading away Gordon Hayward, and you're acquiring draft picks like a rebuilding team would. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
They don't play defense. They don't have any veteran that can settle the guy down. Their coach can't settle them down. Their coach should be canned. He comes out and's like, "Yeah, we're not superiorly talented for the way that we play."
Yeah, that was hilarious.
It's like, just quit then. Just quit. Do a different job. Coach the YMCA down the street. I mean, what the heck? It's obvious, dude. Like, everybody with a set of freaking eyeballs knows that.
Right.
You're not there to just win this year. Hopefully
you don't say that.
I mean, good grief. Like, they're not built to win this year. Like, if you have a problem with it, then quit or go to the front office and say, "What are we doing?" Or just come out and say, "We're not superiorly talented, so we shouldn't even show up." Duh. What a moron. That pissed pisses me off. It's like
Here's my question for you then, Nate. What was worse, that or Matt Canada saying his offense isn't built to come from behind?
both.
Both.
Same.
They're both. They're
Everybody
equally as bad.
Everybody knows. Matt, we don't need to. We know it. We know you can't throw it.
We watch the same games you coach.
Yeah, best quarterback sit in the bench because he couldn't throw the ball to Vance McDonald and James Washington, and had freaking fee-fi-fo-fum and the offensive line. I mean, come on. Like, geez Louise, dude. Like, and then you got Kenny out there, and anytime you have him out there, it gives you slim margin for error to win. Seriously.
Yes.
You're coming back from nothing with him out there. Mason led some comebacks. I mean, duh.
Funny how that works.
Yeah. So both of them are stupid. Don't say that.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Coach it up. Coach them up.
Yeah. I think if I was leading an organization and a coach said that, I'd be like, we're done here. You have no fucking confidence in your team and in your ability.
Oh.
Get the hell out then.
Right.
Jesus.
Go be the GM somewhere else then. I mean, good grief.
Right.
Speaking of teams that potentially don't really know what they're doing, the Timberwolves sent Monte Morris the Wolves got Monte Morris in a trade with the Detroit Pistons. Pistons got back Shake Milton, Troy Brown, and a 2030 second round pick. Is this just about getting younger for Detroit, Nate? What do you think the deal is here? Or does Detroit know what they're doing? Because obviously they have not reamed the fruits of their labors yet. They're still the worst team in the league. I don't even know. They don't have double-digit wins yet, do they?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
So
they also got rid of their first-round pick from a couple of years ago. They just let him go.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. They
Right.
do it all the time. They don't understand what they're doing. I think that they just go, yeah, I mean, scouts say this guy's good, so we just pick him. I mean, come on. There's been no team in the last 20 years.
Basketball people running that organization then, or what the hell's going on?
I don't know. They got a bunch of stooges, as DB would say, running the organization.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
If you go through the last 20 years, nobody has missed on more draft picks, maybe in all of pro sports, than the Detroit Pistons.
Terrible.
Look through. Go on YouTube and go Detroit Pistons first round picks last 15 years. There's videos that come up and they go through it, and you're like, who? Every other words is who? Because
were they the ones that picked what's his face in the 2003 draft? Milicic?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Jesus. Yeah.
Frosted tips. Yep.
That's the only one. Yeah. The ones that they've gotten right were Andre Drummond. Well, you couldn't miss on that. The dude's 7'1" with an 8-foot wingspan. He just needs to exist out there, and you're going to be good.
Yep.
Like, I mean, how many you got to miss on? Ellenson, and I mean, that's the worst one. Oh, brother, that dude. Ugh, come on, he is terrible.
I mean, I don't think they missed on Cade, but they didn't give Cade a whole lot to work with.
We don't know how good Cade is. We have no idea. We don't know if it's got to shoot every time. He's got to just go crazy every game. He's very good. I mean, I think he's going to be a very good pro for a long time. I think he's a starter in the league for a lot of his career, if not most of his career. But we have no measuring stick because he's got nothing around him.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
How about what's his name? Their center, Duran.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's not bad.
He's not bad either. But other than that, who they got now?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a shame. Good thing the football team's doing well in Detroit because the rest of Detroit not doing so hot. Red Wings are in a wild card spot though. I'll say that.
Yeah. Killian Hayes. first round pick.
Killian Hayes.
Killian Hayes. His camp goes, he doesn't like playing here anymore. They're just like, why wouldn't you trade him then?
Ah, Jesus.
Get something for him. Get a bag of freaking candy for the concession stand. I mean, come on.
Terrible.
I mean, they traded freaking Kyle Korver for a copy machine. Like, get a copy machine for him.
Yeah.
Just let him go for nothing. And there was one guy I forgot to mention. Asura Thompson. Really good too. But they just don't know. They just don't know what they're doing. They're too young. They have no depth. It's just a mess. The front office doesn't know how to spell win. They think it's spelled WYNN. Like, it's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. How long does Casey last there, Nate?
I don't know, because he might just see himself out the door, because I don't know how I could deal with that. But it looked like a great coaching hire, because he's former coach of the year. He took the Raptors to, the Eastern Conference playoffs how many years in a row as a top few seed. But if there's anything we know about Dwayne Casey, has he ever gotten it done?
No.
He's a good coach.
Great coach.
Doesn't get it. And sure, you run into
Trust me, Nate. I know all too well about coaches that can't get it done. Okay, I know.
You do. So do I.
Do.
So do I.
Oh, I know you do. Oh yeah. Worse than my guy. One of them.
Yep.
But anyway, on a more positive things, we got the All-Star Weekend coming up here, and as always, dunk contest, 3-point contest. I know they're kind of getting somewhat dry. They're getting drier every year. I understand that. NBA All-Star Weekend, not the most exciting thing as it once was, but still, my opinion, something to look forward to, and it marks a bit of a turning point in the season. And one of my favorite human beings that's playing basketball right now is in the dunk contest. So back to what's more likely. Who's more likely to win the dunk contest? Mac McClung or the field?
I'm going Mac. They love Mac, man. And some of the things he can do at 6'2" are special. I'm going with Mac. He's amazing.
I'll go with him too. Damn. I gotta look up shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. I wish he was a little better playing organized basketball, but he's a spectacle when he's put in a situation like that. So.
If he'd have been born about 10 or 15 years before he'd have been on the And1 tour, I think.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
That's what I think.
No shit. Okay.
Yep. No, I believe that wholeheartedly.
He's like 6'2" DB, and he's got like a 44 to 48 inch vertical. I mean,
I gotta look this guy up. I gotta see what the hell.
Oh, right. Please do.
Look up the high school highlights. Those are the best.
Okay.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous athlete.
Yeah.
Okay. On to some more awards, I guess, here. Rookie of the Year. Who's more likely to win Rookie of the Year? Wemby or the field?
Well, last night's performance, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's tough, though, because Wemby could just poof, be done quick.
Yep.
So
I know.
That's why it's hard.
And is the eligibility in terms of games played, is it similar to MVP?
Yes, it's all awards. So all
awards have the same. Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
clarify that.
Yeah, and he's missed a few games. So I think Chet Holmgren's got a great shot, and I didn't think he would because I was looking at the usage of all those guys, but dude's come in and he's like the second or third option already. Oh, good grief!
Oh, he was drafted last year, but he is a rookie.
Rookie, yep. I mean, if Simmons and Embiid can win it,
no, I know. I'm one to talk. I know.
Blake Griffin too. So not the only one Sixers, but Wemby's going to cut it close to me. because they rest him and stuff. And if he tweaks an ankle, he's going to be out.
I told you guys. He needs to get fucking weight on, Nate.
Yeah, and if the Spurs, they might sit in the last 2 games to make sure he's not hurt. Who knows? So I think I'm going to go with Chet Holmgren. I'll go with the field. And their team is second in the West. They've been first.
Yes, sir.
So and Chet's very good. So I'll go with the field. But if Wemby plays the games, it's Wemby. But I don't think he's going to play the game. So that's why I'm going to pick Chet, which is the field.
Gotcha. Oh, might be the first time I've ever sneezed on there.
That's all right.
Yeah. I hope it is. No, I'll go back. I'll watch these episodes and I'll be coughing. I'll be sneezing all over the place. And I just didn't know it. Anyway, just wanted to point out on FanDuel, Wembanyama -600 to win Rookie of the Year. Chet right behind him at +500. Steep drop off after that. Brandon Miller at +15,000. So it's probably going to be either Holmgren or Wemby.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Brandon Miller's played well.
Yep. Oh yes. Oh yeah. No, absolutely. Just again in a crap situation.
Yep. He's going to be another guy. Him and LaMelo Ball. As long as they're there, they're going to be. Wow! Look at the game they had. But it's like, and do they win? Do they ever make the damn playoffs? Do they make anything but the play-in and not get beat by 45 in the play-in? I mean,
yeah.
That's what it is to me. Like, they have nobody there that can settle them down. And I think that's why Gordon Hayward's like, I can't settle my team down. I can't work with these kids. Time to go.
Yep.
Time to go play for a team of kids, young guys that have paid their dues. They're coached well. They're organized well. I want to go win. So, yeah, I think he might have said, I'll gladly go. We're not doing poo here.
Yeah.
So.
No. Yeah. I agree. I think I'm with you, Nate. I think it'll be probably Chet. Chet will play the games. Wemby won't. Whether they sit him or whether somehow, unfortunately, he gets hurt. I'll take the field on that one as well. Did you say Wemby, Drew?
Oh hell yeah, love him.
Wemby,
Slender man.
Wemby.
Woo. Yeah.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah. If he plays, yeah. If he plays, it's a foregone conclusion. But
yeah.
I don't know if he's going to play. So, and the fact that you're getting +500 money on Chet right now with the stats he's putting up, with pretty good level of consistency on an elite team.
Yeah.
I think that's some good value there. Something to look into for sure.
Yeah.
Right now, the Warriors have won 5 in a row. They're 7-3 in their last 10, all with Draymond being out, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
And of course, Draymond has to go and say, "Oh, they pivoted once I got hurt." That's an aside. I'll go down that road later. But anyway, right above them are you guys as Los Angeles Lakers. And of course, I couldn't go throughout an episode period, without talking about your Lakers for a second.
Yeah.
So if you'll indulge me, what's more likely? The Warriors hang another one in the rafters, or the Lakers completely miss the play-in?
I think it's more likely that the Lakers miss the play-in.
I'd say that too.
They made no moves via trade. They signed Spencer Dinwiddie. It's fine. I mean, he's about all they could do in terms of free agent signings, waiver clearing signings. He'll be decent for us. I think he didn't want to be in Brooklyn anymore. He'd been a menace there for a few months. So,
yeah.
But no, seriously, I mean, the West is very good. Our team is not very good right now. We've had injuries, of course, like we do. Just not clicking. But yeah, I could see us missing. I really could. And LeBron was very vocal about wanting to make trades and be aggressive, and they did not do that. So this might be the end of the Lakers LeBron era after this year. I think it's very possible, considering kids also coming into the league, and he might be able to pick and choose where he plays because he's already got 4 ships. He's going to get 40,000 points. He's going to be top few in rebounds and assists. So might be another rebuild coming here quick.
Yeah. I'm with you both again. Lakers to miss. Yeah, it could get messy. If AD goes down or I don't know.
Softest fucking guy I've ever seen in my life.
I know.
Trevor.
I understand.
Soft.
I understand. Not as soft as Marc Gasol, but pretty soft.
Oh shit!
I think I don't mean this as a slight to you guys. I don't mind the Lakers. I'm not. Remember, I hate Boston, so we have that in common. I fucking hate Boston.
I hate
I don't mind the Lakers at all. Lakers are in the middle of the pack in terms of where I would rank them on my favorite teams list. But I think it would just be hilarious if they won the midseason tournament, raised a banner for that, and then completely missed out on the playoffs. I think that would be kind of funny.
Well, I'll tell you right now, and I don't know if Nate agrees with me, but as a fan, the whole legacy of the Lakers organization is kind of going down the shitter for me, Nate. I don't know. There's just, no offense to LeBron. Yes, he's one of the greats, whatever. But I don't know. I don't care to watch their fucking games. That's where it's at for me. Like I don't know if it's because of Pelinka or whatever the hell his name is. Kind of he rubbed me the wrong way years ago and whatever. I don't give a shit. And how it went down with Phil Jackson, Nate, that really pissed me off too.
Yeah, that was pretty stupid. Because the bus kids, the bus sons were ticked off at him and wanted him gone, and I don't know. Dr. Bus, when he passed away, it was different. Jeannie's a really good businesswoman. She seems like a good person, but she can't figure it out. She's very quick to make moves. She's got it right minimally, just not quite the same Lakers with her. They are stuck in a way that they just going to get stars just doesn't win now. You got to have 6 or 7 like stars / very solid role players. Like that's what you saw with the Nuggets. That's what you saw with the Raptors a few years ago. That's what you see with Boston when they choke it every freaking year, but they're built like that too. And same with the Miami Heat. So the Lakers don't have that. They got 3-4 guys. And that's the difference to me. Too much wrapped up in too few guys. Mm-hmm. The Pittsburgh Steelers, same way. Defense, too few. So, yeah.
Drives me nuts. I don't know. And fucking Jack Nicholson, God bless his soul, he's going through some shit too. And it's just everything's going to shit, Nate. Everything's just going to shit.
We got our ship with LeBron. Thank you.
Yep.
We sucked for 8 years in a row before that. Hopefully it's not another 8 years before we do anything. Last year was a good year, but the Nuggets were just
they were that damn good. And Jamal Murray went nuts finally in the playoffs. So
he was good.
And they just moved the fucking ball. That's another like I watched like a couple, I'd say I watched about 2-3 Lakers games this season. It just seems like stagnant offense. They don't move the fucking ball. They wait for LeBron and motion him with wherever the hell he wants. And then the defense, I don't know. There's not any fucking defense in the league, but they can see who's just manning ship. And you can't have that in the NBA. You got to have at least 3-4 fucking ball handlers on the court. And we got one guy that's just worried about his stats. Sorry, Trevor. You got me going with the Lakers. It pisses me off.
I knew Drew.
Yeah.
I do this by design.
Well, I'll tell you. You know what I thought Anthony Davis would be, and now he might be better than Powell. I thought with him and LeBron, I thought,
more talented, not as legendary, but yes, go on.
Yeah, more talented, not yes. I thought we'd have like a little 1-2 action, like Kobe Shaq, Kobe Powell kind of thing. But Davis is just too fucking soft, and I think he's too focused on. I don't even know what the hell he's focused on, Nate. I can't figure that guy out, and I know I'm hard on him, but at one point you were the top center for many years, and now you're shit in my eyes.
Yeah,
I sit on my couch and I bitch at the TV. Okay, that guy's a hell of an athlete, but fuck, he pisses me off more than Marc Gasol. He pisses me off.
That's a high bar.
He does. He
Wow.
pisses me off.
High
You
bar,
get nudged.
man.
You come down off a rebound, and you step on a guy's foot, and you act like your fucking leg got cut off. Like, come on.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Should
God.
play soccer with that attitude, really. He should.
How about
Should
you
go
put
play the football over in Europe. That'd be cool.
Put him in a fucking bubble and put him on the court. And that's the only way you can have him play the goddamn game. A full game. He either bitches about, oh, I bumped my elbow, or he slapped me in the face. Gross set of balls. God. Fuck. You got me going. I apologize to the viewers. I apologize. I'm happy it's 2 hours in.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I got one last one, and then I'm done. It's a more positive one, especially for you Lakers fans. So, but maybe something pitting you guys against your fellow LA compatriots over here. What's more likely? Kawhi Leonard stays at or above 45% from downtown, which he has never done in his career. I believe he's at 45.3 right now. Or LeBron scores his 40,000th point this month. We know that's going to happen. I'm asking if it's going to happen this month.
I'm not sure what LeBron's at the exact moment. I know
I have it right here. He's currently at 39,843, heading into tonight's game against the Pistons.
How many games we got?
You have played 54. So you got 28 left.
This month. So
in February, 3 games.
There's only 3 games left in February for the Lakers?
I believe so. Let me verify this. I don't know if that's including the Pistons game tonight.
There's 2+ weeks.
Or no, it was 3 games. 3 games that was listed on the FanDuel prop. But my mistake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna
so
go.
You got let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 7.
Oh yeah, he'll do it. Yeah.
Yep, I'll pick LeBron to get 140 points, 120 points in 7 games. I'll do it. Kawhi Leonard, I think, will be below that. I think the All-Star break will shake him up a little bit.
Yep.
He'll still shoot over 40, I think, but he'll shoot probably 42 to 40. I think
42. Yeah, I agree. LeBron will do it, and I agree with Nate with the 42, 43.
Probably should have prepared a little bit better for that question. I didn't realize there were 7 games left in February for the Lakers, but here we are. I posed it and you answered, and hopefully, give you guys a little bit of redemption from talking bad about your Lakers with the last question. So, yeah, LeBron all the way. I don't know why you'd doubt him at this point. So,
no,
yeah,
special time.
Yeah, and that was all I had for NBA talk. So.
He's not better than Kobe, but he's pretty good. We're at 2 hours and 12 minutes. I'm not going to start that shit. We could do that. Actually, next, you got anything?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Just for the viewers to look towards something next week. We did this last year, Nate, I believe, with you, me. I forget who else was in there. Next week, I want us to kick off the NBA conversation, come back with our all-time lineups again. Rodman will not be in that. He will be 6-man, though. I will say that. But I feel like that would be a fun little tie-in that we could do. But no, boys, if that's everything, it was another good show. Appreciate you guys.
No, brother. Yep.
It was a long fucking NFL season for us.
Yeah, it was.
I think I got extra gray hairs somewhere around there. I had to pluck them out, but hey, we're here. No.
Certainly have more issues to discuss with my therapist. So there's that.
Jesus Christ. Oh, God bless your soul.
No, anyways, so it's fine.
But hey, it was another great episode of Buckle Up with the Boys here. We appreciate you watching to this point. If you did not, that's okay as well. Please hit the like, subscribe, or comment, please, so you can stay up to date with the boys. And also look forward to the draft night with us as well. But the boys will be back next week with more basketball, baseball, possibly hockey conversation, and transitioning into the offseason of the NFL. Appreciate you guys. All gas, no breaks. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe out there. This is another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys. And we are going to get it right on the